1, 2, 3.
Ready. Newsstand versus Newsletter embarks on a journey of a classic wrestling year. Were the PWI readers accurate with their assessment of talent? Were the Wrestling Observer newsletter subscribers more right than wrong? Join longtime friends Scotty and Andrew as they talk about Newsstand versus Newsletter.
Welcome to another episode of Newsstand versus Newsletter. I am your host, the future Hall of Famer Scotty B. I'm going to bring my co-host Andrew. Last name's still not needed, but we all know who he is. He lives in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'll give his exact address so you can send him skip the dishes. No, he doesn't want to do that. You don't want free food?
No.
No? You don't want to give your address? I'll give you all a hint, people. It starts with a 1. That's all I'll tell you. It's the 1. Find him in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, not United States. Isn't there Vancouver, Washington?
Yeah.
They might think that. So we're going to try 2010 again. We tried it on Christmas Eve and day. We're not complete losers. How far did we get? We got pretty far, didn't we? We were like into the secondary awards, I think, at one point, and we cut out.
We didn't quite get to halftime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because remember halftime we were going to have like a Christmas theme one, and now we can't do that for sure.
Yeah, because by the time this comes out, it's gonna be like fucking April. And who knows when it's gonna come out on the audio version on what's the guy's name again? Our network we're with.
I don't remember.
Oh, that's nice. He's gonna love that.
No, let's start over.
What? No. Oh, fuck it.
All right.
Damn it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just I don't know the name of the fucking network, so I'm gonna have to
shoot the shiznit. Shooting the
shiznit. That's it.
No, there you go. I win. Hey, I want all the advertising shit. Fuck this guy. He doesn't know the name of the goddamn thing. Yeah, I'm gonna swear. Because I'm a crazy son of a bitch. And we're not redoing shit. We've already redone this podcast once. We're not doing it again. All right. 2010. What were we doing in 2000? I do not know. A lot of drugs, I think, at that point. So I mean, my brain total mush. I remember girls. I knew some ladies. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I do know what I was doing in 2010. I was living with a married couple. I moved into their apartment. Huh. They fought nonstop. It's like I don't ever want to get married after seeing this shit. They fought nonstop. It was like a family. It was like I was like the kid, and they were like the mother and father. But I was older than both of them, which is really fucking weird. And I worked at a cell phone place. I had the worst fucking boss of all time. I'm going to tell this story on the podcast. So I went to work at the cell phone place, and the woman who worked there was just a nasty bitch. And I hope she hears this. I don't even care. I'll fuck you. Like, you're a dirty bitch. Tell you a story. I worked like in a kiosk. It was in the middle of a mall, right?
Yep.
And the mall that I worked in, and you're familiar with, is Brunswick Square, St. John, New Brunswick.
Yep. Which
is very famous for the tourists who go through. So this woman had on the side of the kiosk, not a tour guide, don't ask questions. And I was like, oh my God. So I go in there one day, I'm working, and I go on to Facebook, right? Just, whatever. And I go to have a smoke or something, come back, and she deleted all my Facebook friends. Yeah.
What?
Deleted all my Facebook friends.
What gave her the right to do that?
Just here, listen. I said, what the fuck's actually shooting me on Facebook at work time? I'm like, first off, you're on it all the time. And secondly, you're supposed to put, like, I like to suck dick or something, not delete all my friends.
That's ridiculous.
So then, it was my first time working at that place. And I remember on the Friday, my buddy was with me where I was going to the work. And I said, just wait outside because I'm probably going to quit. Just wait outside. I'm probably going to quit. So I go in. And she's like, hey, did you count the cash yesterday? I'm like, it's like, you're $1 short. What are you, fucking stupid or something? I'm like, you know what? Suck it. I'm out of here. Go fuck yourself. So I leave, and I'm going to the McAllister Place Mall on the east side. My friend, I get a phone call from the DM saying, hey, we heard what happened. You're not in the wrong, blah, blah, blah. Can you just come back? I said, no, I'm not coming back. So come back on Monday. We'll figure something out. So I come back that Monday, early in the morning, and there's two guys in suits standing in the kiosk over, like literally over top of her.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's going on here? So I go up and let me take a drink of water here. So I go up and the guy's like, yeah, do you want to go down to McDonald's for a minute to get some breakfast? He hands me a $20 bill. I was like, yeah, all right. So I come back in 10 minutes. So I go eat breakfast. I come back and they're standing there. She's not there. Yeah, we fired her. She's fired. So can you run this place until we find someone else? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I wasn't taught anything. The guy's like, here's a list of numbers. If you have any problems, call them people. And I'm like, what? I don't know how to fucking activate a cell phone. I don't know how to like do any of this shit. I remember my first customer, I talked them out of getting a cell phone because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But it's just a funny story. That happened in 2010. So that's my 2010, which is fairly interesting. So you go ahead with yours.
For me, that was when I entered my 30s. And
well, no, you're 62 now, right? So how's that possible?
Around there. Now, you met me when I was a teenager. And for the longest time, I couldn't gain weight if I fucking tried.
Yeah.
Like I was just rail thin. And then as soon as I hit 30, Scott, my metabolism gone.
Yeah.
And I look back at like pictures, and I often say I peaked at 29, and everything after then. And I did look at some pictures about 10 years ago. There was that 10-year challenge.
Yeah.
And I was pretty thin in 2012, and I think it's because I didn't have a girlfriend. Whenever I don't have a girlfriend, I
take that weight off.
I can't feed myself, right? So
that's true. I know you well enough to know you can't feed yourself. I think you ate the best you ever ate when you were here for that week.
Yeah, I'll tell you, 2010 was a year where, like, the first part of the year, it was okay.
Excuse me.
I was a single man. I was just, sowing my wild oats, having a good old time. And then the second half of the year, I had a girlfriend, and that's like she fed me well because I looked back at some pictures and like that's the moment right there. As soon as I hit 30, boom.
He was just trying to fatten up to kill you.
Developed a stomach.
Oh man, look, I agree, brother. I look at high school pictures and I'm fucking like looking like a specimen. I'm looking fantastic. Now I'm blind as fucking shit, gained weight, But the ladies like the charm. I don't know, the lady I'm talking to now, she's been ghosting me for a few days, but whatever. I could care less. Anyway, let's jump into the sports of 2010. If you remember any of this.
No, I actually don't. So this is all new.
All right. So the NFL draft was on April 22nd to the 24th at Radio City Music Hall. Drafted first overall. Do you want to guess? 2010?
Thinking. Was it Andrew Luck?
Sam Bradford.
Oh, okay.
Boy, you guys gave up first round pick for at one point.
Well, we needed him. That was when
Bridgewater
went out in the last game of preseason. It was like, what are we going to do?
He went out of practice. I remember I read about that. Players were puking. Players were puking on the field when they'd seen it, and it wasn't too good. All right, best record in the league in 2010.
Was it the Patriots?
Patriots at 14-2. Worst record in the league.
Was it Detroit?
Carolina 2-14. Green Bay beat Pittsburgh 31-25. In the Super Bowl, the Patriots went out in the divisional round against the Jets.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you know what happened? Welker got hurt that year. That's the year they kept Welker in week 17. He tore his ACL. All right. Excuse me. So MLB, best record.
Was it the Red Sox?
Philadelphia, 97-65. And the worst record. This wouldn't be that hard.
Baltimore?
Pirates, 57-105. God damn. Giants beat the Rangers 4-1 the World Series. NBA, best record.
Was it the Lakers?
It was.
Cleveland?
Go ahead. Cleveland. It was Cleveland, yeah. It was Cleveland 61-21. Worst record?
Was it the Nets?
Timberwolves 15-67. They had a bad fucking year.
They did.
And the Lakers beat the Celtics in the finals 4-3. And finally, the NHL best record.
Was it Washington?
It was Washington. Yeah, they had the best record like crazy in the 2010s. Worst record?
Was it Buffalo?
Edmonton, 27-47-8. And the Blackhawks beat the Flyers 4-2. My grandfather just died, literally, like right before that happened. That poor guy, and he was a huge Blackhawks fan, but he had seen them win in his lifetime. What's that?
I think he was too old for Blackhawks management to take a keen interest in.
Yeah, well, but no, he had seen it in his lifetime. See, to go before we get into this podcast, and this will drop in probably March or April. Last night, my Kansas City Chiefs lost in the playoffs to Cincinnati Bengals, and there's a lot of angry Chiefs fans. And I'm like, well, we won a Super Bowl, boys. Like, we should be happy with that. We've got a Super Bowl win. Good team. Good for Cincinnati. I hope they win the Super Bowl. I really do. It's tricky, but I don't think.
For me, there's two reasons I'm rooting for the Rams. One, I do like to see the NFC beat the AFC, and two, I'm a bit of a hater, and I don't like it when teams get their first Super Bowl while my team has 0.
Well, you're going to be hating because I think Cincinnati's going to win. But this won't age well. This won't age well because once this comes out, it's going to be long gone.
To be snipped.
All right. So we are going to jump into the awards of 2010. And I'm not going to remember anything. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll be here for the next month waiting for you to finish this.
Okay. Beforehand, do you have a guess with who was the biggest wrestling-related death in 2010?
No, and we've already done this. I don't remember it, so.
Okay. So here are some wrestling personalities that we lost in year 2010. They include Trent Acid, Tony Adams, General Skandar Akbar, Ted Allen, J.C. Bailey, Charles Baladurian, Andre Baker, Charles Baker, Big Mikey, Tough Tony Bourne, the father of Matt Bourne.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bob Bradley, Jack Briscoe, Tom Burton, Lance Cade, El Hijo del Carras. Pardon?
We're not out of the seas yet.
Oh, no. It'll be a while. It's not the 80s anymore. There's a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
Edouard Carpentier, Ed Schumann, Corsica Joe, George Red Eaton, El Espinanto II, Chuck Etchells, La Fiera, Mickey Guardiola, Anton Gasnick, Jorge Giant Gonzalez, Gorgeous George Grant, Gilbert Guerrero, Tony Halm, also known as Ludwig Borga, Brian Hart, Blackjack Heaton, Joe Higuchi, Mr. Hito, Kentaro Hoshino, King Curtis Hayakea, J.J. Jenkins, Chris Canyon, Peggy Ann Kawabaker, Rusher Kimura, Gene Kaniski, Herb Larson, Jack Laskin, Kenneth Lehman, Beverly Lamer, Chris Long, Moose Mahoney, Georgianne Markopoulos, Ida Mae Martinez, Ron Martinez, Ike Masarsky, Jet Monroe, Rocket Monroe, Randy Morse, Ham Mortier, Brand Naniwa, Jose Neves, Nick Pacciano, Angelo Poffo, Mike Porter, Jack Savage, Baron Mikel Cicluna, El Scorpio, Sandy Scott, Screamer, Mike Shaw, also known as Norman, the Lunatic, Maka Singh, Katsuhisa Shibata, Kenji Shibuya, Grizzly Smith, Steve Stanley, Steve Stack, El Supremo, Tiny Tim, Luna Vachon, Jerry Valiant, Jason Vieira, Arpad Weber, Jim White, Jeremy Wood, Koetsu Yamamoto, and Skip Young. And that
Jack Briscoe's the biggest one.
Yeah, I agree. Jack Briscoe, Gene Kiniski were both world champions, but I think Briscoe had more of an impact.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, the awards. We're going to start up right away. Rookie of the Year. I will pick yours, Mr. Andrew. I'm going to pick the Usos.
David Otunga.
How can I not remember that at all? That's crazy. Okay, David Otunga wins it.
He wins it with 25% of the vote. First runner-up is Tamina with 18%. Second runner-up is Percy Watson with 15%. Third runner-up is Corey Hollis with 9%. Honorable mentions totaling 33% include Jackson Andrews, Oksana, Eli Cottonwood, Naomi Knight, and Conrad Tanner. And I'm going to guess Adam Cole, baby.
I think you remember it. That's the thing. I think you might remember it. That's not even fair. But yes, Adam Cole wins it. Let's see. Where'd it go? Where's my thing? Did that just freeze on me? Whoa, what happened? Oh, it's the sports thing. Hold on a second here.
Well, I'll tell you, that's it for me remembering. That was the only one.
You know what sucks for me? I got to fucking get this in. My word is acting up. Hold on a second here. Just bear with me for a second. I'll say before I get my word back up, Adam Cole takes it easily.
Easily, yeah.
He's fucking great.
It's funny, unrelated to this, on the Twitter, you know how sometimes they'll have a post like who won the Royal Rumble the year you were born, or what was the main event of WrestleMania the year you were born, or who was Intercontinental Champion the year you were born, such and such. But like some of them I can answer, and other ones it doesn't really apply to me because I'm an old fuck.
Yeah.
And this one was interesting. It was what color was John Cena's gear the year you got into wrestling? And I was like, trunks.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's called, by the way. Not gear, it's trunks. Adam Cole wins at the Green Anna second. Rich Swann is third. Kazuki Hashimoto is fourth. Tama Tonga is five. Percy Watson is six. Usos, Naomi, King Fail, and that is it. So yes, Adam Cole definitely takes that one. Easily takes that one. What's wrong with my thing? My computer's being a bitch. Okay. Next one, most improved. Pick one.
For you?
Pardon me?
I'm guessing for you.
Yeah.
Is it Sheamus?
Jesus Christ, this ain't the point of fucking doing this. Yes, it's Sheamus.
I did not remember that. I was a guess.
Okay, Sheamus won it. The Miz is second. Dolph Ziggler is third. Eddie Edwards is fourth. Bobby Fish, Alberto I am in jail. Dorito, Akira Tozawa, Wade Barrett, Ricochet, and Jack Swagger. I'm gonna pick Jack Swagger for you.
It's actually D'Angelo De Niro.
No idea who that is.
He used to wrestle in WWE as Elijah Burke.
Yeah. I know who it is now.
He went to TNA and became the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. Wins it with 20% of the vote. Honorable mentions, first runner-up is Wade Barrett with 17%. Second runner-up is Sheamus with 16%. And that's why I guessed it, because I just saw him there.
Yeah.
Third runner-up is Jay Lethal with 6%. And honorable mentions totaling 41% included Evan Bourne, El Generico, Luke Gallows, Matt Morgan, Cody Rhodes, Velvet Sky, Doug Williams, and Dolph Ziggler.
That's a tough one. I'll go with Sheamus as much as I don't like him. All right. Next one for you is Inspirational Wrestler. For me, it's everyone's favorite topic, most disgusting tactic. But I'm going to pick yours first. I don't fuck. Oh, what's his name? The guy beat cancer. Matt's Caparella or something. I can't pronounce his last. Yeah.
It's actually the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He wins it with 74% of the vote.
Yeah.
He inspired a lot of people in 2010.
Inspired me to take Somos in 93. Did I say that loud?
First runner-up is Kurt Angle with 9%. Second runner-up is John Cena with 7%.
Am I third runner-up? Is it me?
It's actually Rob Van Dam with 6% of the vote. And honorable mentions totaling 4% included Awesome Kong,
Captain
Evan
Lou,
Bourne, Daniel Bryan, El Generico, La Parka, Angelina Love, and Rey Mysterio Jr.
That's fantastic. Okay. What's the most disgusting tactic?
Was it tribute to the troops?
Stand up for WWE because they are a family. They don't do horrible things like, cover up certain things that we can't talk about and get in trouble. Pardon me?
Not their style.
They don't hire ring announcers who have some weird fetishes for feet, but that's okay. So that's number one. Rob Terry chair shot. Tommy Dreamer bloodbath in front of young daughters. John Cena firing angle. Vicky Guerrero constantly being promoted as fat and ugly. Eric Young concussion angle comedy. And TNA making Jeff Hardy world champion while he's under indictment. So yeah, Sanford WWE is pretty shitty because that company fucking sucks. But there's a couple things in there. I mean, making fun of Vicky Guerrero wasn't cool.
No.
Like, go ahead.
I was just say that's really their motif. I mean, the whole don't be a bully, be a star is so hilarious coming from that company. When like if you know anything about their past, like Exhibit A, Jim Ross's existence, and
exactly
so on and so forth. You're muted.
I know I'm muted. I was yawning.
Muted.
I know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Anyway. Vince's character's a bully. No, you're fucked up. Fuck that company. Bunch of dick faces. All right. So anyway, the next one for you is going to be me first, but most hated. Mine is going to be most overrated.
Is it Dave Bautista?
Come on.
Oh.
How did you not pick Kane? Are you just trying to be nice and not pick guys now?
I forgot about Kane, and that's crazy because the man had been around forever, and it slipped my mind. But it won't anymore. No more forgetting Kane.
Our favorite of all time, Randy Orton second, Abyss, Rob Van Dam, Drew McIntyre, Matt Morgan, Mr. Anderson, Jeff Hardy, Big Show, and Tommy Dreamer. It's your most popular, most hated, Triple H.
It is the Nexus.
Yeah, nope, that's not it.
The
What's
Nexus
hated is the way they fucked up that angle.
They win it with 32% of the vote. First runner-up is CM Punk with 21%. Second runner-up is The Miz with 20%. Third runner-up is Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff with 13%. And honorable mentions totaling 14% include Michael Cole, Alberto Del Rio. It just says Albert Del Rio here, which is funny. Vicky Guerrero, Jeff Hardy, Kane, and AJ Styles.
Phenomenal. AJ Styles. I didn't mean that anyway. No pun intended. All right. So where are we at in our format? Let's take a look here. We're at Tag Team of the Year. All right. Tag Team of the Year for you. Oh my! I don't even fucking know, dude. I don't have any clue. I'll go with the Usos. I'm just guessing.
The Motor City Machine Guns. That is Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. They win it with 46%. First runner-up is the Hart Dynasty with 10%. Second runner-up, Claudio Castagnoli and Chris Hero, the Kings of Wrestling, with 9%. And third runner-up is Beer Money Inc. with 7%. Honorable mentions totaling 39% include the Briscoe Brothers, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, The Miz and The Big Show, Bison Smith and Keith Walker, Team 3D, and Tetsuya Naito and Yujihiro Takahashi.
Fantastic. Guess mine.
Is it the Briscoes?
Chris Hero, and I can't pronounce his last name again, but you just said it, so.
Claudio Castagnoli, also known as Cesaro.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll go with Chris Hero Cesaro, because obviously, let's be fucking real here. All right. Right before we get to the halftime show.
Wait. You didn't do the runners-up?
Oh, my bad. Give me a second here. I'm a little loopy today. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley at 2. Robert Roode and James Storm at 3. Prince Devitt, and I cannot pronounce his partner's name. It is Japanese. Mark and Jay Briscoe. Giant Bernard and Carl Anderson. Kenny Omega and Ibushi. Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. And David Smith and Tyson Kidd, who does not wrestle anymore. All right. Feud of the Year. Guess mine.
I'm thinking. Was it the Kings of Wrestling against the Briscoes?
Kevin Steen versus El Generico. So we're going to go back in here. Oh, fuck. Anderson Silva versus Channel Sun. That doesn't count. Oh, my God. Look at this. It's all fucking UFC. Taker versus Michaels, John Cena versus Nexus, Hogan versus BXB Hulk. What's that?
BXB Hulk. I believe that's a DDT wrestler.
Okay.
I may be wrong about the promotion.
Beer Money versus Motor Machine Guns, Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk, LA Park versus La Parka. Your feud of the year is going to be WWE versus Nexus.
Really close. Yeah, it is. It's Nexus versus WWE. They win it with 22% of the vote. First runner-up is Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon with 18%. Second runner-up is Kurt Angle versus Mr. Anderson with 17%. Third runner-up is John Cena versus Batista with 11%. And honorable mentions totaling 32% include Abyss versus Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, Edge versus Chris Jericho, Fortune versus EV 2.0, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio Jr., and The Undertaker versus Kane.
Awesome. Undertaker Kane should have won, obviously, but they didn't. So, all right. So I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Nexus instead of me because it was good until they fucked it all up, but it was still good. It was because I never seen Kevin Cena El Jericho, so I can't really go on that.
My favorite part was Cena being fired and never missing a Raw. That was quality.
But I will say when they first did it, it looked good. They did the first run. The first run was awesome, and even when they attacked Vince was good, but then it went to shit. So WWE for everybody. All right, so we're gonna go into the halftime show, and the original halftime show was supposed to be about Christmas and what we got, but not anymore. This is being recorded on January 31st, 2022. So we're gonna go with best factions because they have that award, do they not?
Yes, starting this year in 2021, Faction of the Year is now an award in PWI. So we thought it would be neat to go over who we think would have won Faction of the Year from 1980 until 2010.
Oh,
because after that,
so
it gets
long.
pretty murky.
Can we go till 2000? Because I can't
No
go
way. No way.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to go through the 2000s and 2010s. I don't remember anything with that shit. But go ahead. Let's hear it. Are we gonna go like alternate, like 80, 81, 82? You know what I mean?
Sure. I think in 1980, you gotta give it to the Freebirds.
Well, we'll have to give it to them again in 83 or 81. I mean,
yeah,
right to 85. Right till 85.
I think the Freebirds win it every year until the Horsemen.
The Horsemen. So the Horsemen in 86.
Yeah, Horsemen 87.
Horsemen 88.
Yeah, 89 is interesting. Who do you give it to in 89?
Well,
do you count the Heenan family as a faction?
See, I was thinking that. I would assume they're a faction.
Okay.
So I go with them. You got Rude, the Brainbusters.
Oh, 89 was a great year for the Heenan family. Brainbusters win the tag titles. Rude wins the IC.
90.
And Colossal Connection also wins the tag titles that year.
So 90. That's a bit of a tough one.
I think you got to go back to the Horsemen.
I think you're basically on the horse right through most of the 90s. Well, no, 91. You're going to go with Dangerous Alliance.
More
92.
Well, 92 for sure, but 91 is interesting because the first half of the year, the Horsemen still exist. And then when Flair leaves,
it goes to Dangerous Alliance.
The Dangerous Alliance forms in November. So you'd only have 2 months. Like, are you giving it to the Horsemen, the Alliance, somebody else?
Well, who else do you have?
92. Or sorry, 91.
Like, what do they have to do? Bobby doesn't have anybody, really. What's that?
Yes, Slaughter, Mustafa, and
I'm not picking that fight. Iron Sheik is not getting an award for 91. That's not happening.
I mean, maybe I think Global had a faction, but I mean, we weren't really watching Global. So
let's go with the Horsemen. The Horsemen for 91. The 92 Dangerous Alliance. 93. Trying to think if there's any factions.
I think you kind of got to go Smoky Mountain and say the Stud Stable with. I mean, it's tough because 93. I'm thinking there's not many factions in pro wrestling in 93. 94.
You go Dungeon of Doom.
I think $1 Million Corporation, sadly.
That's a dirty one.
It's bad because Dungeon of Doom didn't start till 95.
So you go Dungeon of Doom for 95?
I don't want to give Dungeon of Doom anything.
What else are you going to go with?
Horsemen's.
Yeah, true. And the Horsemen were good, but they didn't come into like September, October.
I'll take 3 months of the Horsemen over 12 of the Dungeon of Doom because that was shit.
96 is obviously NWO. That's no
NWO. And
97. Would you go? I'd probably go to Hartford Nation in 97.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's tough.
Because 97 is they start watering down NWO pretty bad. It's still good, but the Hartford Nation is better. It's definitely better.
I agree. 98, I think you gotta go DX. Because
a little bit.
Because do you want to give it to the fucking NWO Wolfpack?
But God, DX is so bad then. They're not horrible yet. They're bad, but they're not horrible.
The thing about DX is if we're ever going to give it to them, that's the year to do it because after that they kind of go ridiculous.
So 99, you give it to the what is it again? The Taker Ministry. Oh God, yeah.
The corporate ministry or the ministry? What do you think?
The ministry. The corporate ministry is stupid.
Okay.
They're both stupid, but the corporate ministry is worse. Definitely worse than the regular one. 2000. Oh, well, good. Triple H and Trips and stuff.
The McMahon Helmsley regime.
2001. You go ahead. I don't fucking know. Oh, I go. No, wait a second. Would you go Vince, Angle, and Austin?
I was thinking more along the lines of Team WCW.
Yeah, well,
but I don't know.
It's still
because they weren't very good.
And then 02, maybe NWO again.
NWO again, sadly.
03, your favorite. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. That was a ripoff. That wasn't a ripoff of the Four Horsemen, was it?
No, it is its own thing. And if Evolution would have been around like 86, I don't think we'd give it to the Horsemen. I think we gotta give it to Evolution.
Yeah, fucking clowns. Then I don't know, but 04 to 10, you can go ahead.
Fuck, it's gonna be rough. So there's a couple years I'm not even watching, so I'm just going by what I've been able to pick up.
Do you want this knife to help you? I'll just give you a little cut right there.
Let's see. 05? Are we on 05?
04.
04? I think it's still Evolution.
Probably, yeah.
And 05, I'm gonna have to tap out.
That's all right. We'll tap it at 05. Because listen, we got that far. That's fair enough. So
I'd say the most interesting year is 97 because you can make a strong case for NWO and for Heart Foundation. 98 is also interesting because who do you go with? Do you go with one of the NWOs? Do you go with Raven's Flock? I don't know.
So before we get off the halftime show, we'll ask each other this question. Well, I'll answer myself. Your favorite faction of all time?
Dangerous Alliance.
Early NWO for me. Hogan, Hall, and Nash.
That's not fair. You got to count the entire. That's the beauty of Alliance. It's short and sweet, but there's no period of time where you're like, oh, that's embarrassing. NWO, there's a lot.
Oh, but it's so good at first.
Only this part of it, because that's like saying my favorite band is
Chumbawamba?
Lynyrd Skynyrd, but let's not count the Johnny Van Zant era. You can't because it's still Lynyrd Skynyrd. So that's what weighs down.
Fair. All right, fair. So I'll go with the Heart Foundation then.
Okay.
I'll go with that. But I'll tell you one thing, man. That early NWO is so fucking awesome. Like
really good. But it was good for a while, and then they just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, there's a better way of doing that. And people talk about this, about how Tony Khan is a money mark.
I used to call him that, but I don't think he is now. I thought that at first. But yeah, go ahead.
Ted Turner didn't fucking spend a day thinking about WCW. He just delegated that shit to somebody.
Yeah.
This is somebody that has Ted Turner's money, but is also booking the show. Imagine if Ted Turner actually cared and went against Vince.
I'll tell you one thing about the NWO. One of the coolest things I heard, you ever hear the story with Sullivan? And now Nash bullshits a lot, but this does sound realistic. where Sullivan's like, okay, so you're gonna do you guys do an autograph session with Sting. Nash like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're gonna do an autograph session with Sting. We're gonna do it. We can't be with them. We're against them. What are you doing? And they like Nash told him, we can't be sitting at a table with this guy when we're against him. We have to be a separate entity, which was like the coolest thing about NWO. And everyone's heard it over and over, but for me was the fact it like blurred the lines a little bit because the heels and the faces were working together to get rid of these guys. I thought it was just absolutely brilliant. And Sullivan doesn't get enough credit. People shit on Sullivan. He should get more credit because he was a lot that was behind. He was behind a lot of that.
Yeah, because Sullivan books for heat. Sullivan's all about let's get the heat, brother. And the problem with that is you run into the same situation when Dusty was in charge. When you keep holding off on having the baby faces get their victory, eventually the fans just view them as losers.
Well, yeah. NWO didn't help either because they look cool right away. I mean,
Sting always got a bigger response. Like Nash and Hall were fucking rock stars.
Yeah.
But when Sting came down, the fans knew exactly who to cheer, who to boo.
Oh yeah, no, and they had it all. The way it should have been done. We said it before. It should have went right to Sting and Hogan. Sting beats Hogan. Hall and Nash turn Hogan either the next night or right after the match. I think it was next day Nitro, and that's how you ended NWO. It would have been perfect.
Do you think if like they waited too long? Do you think that at some point in because honestly, Luger getting that victory did taint it a bit because Hogan had already suffered a loss along the way.
But I don't think anything really thought. Like, I don't think much of that. I was a huge fan then.
I think the problem is with Sting,
go ahead.
There was a peak, and it was around Uncensored time. And by deciding to hold it off to Starrcade, the rest of the year just felt completely unnecessary. You didn't buy that Piper was beating Hogan at Halloween Havoc because it was all about Sting and Hogan.
Do you have him beat Hogan at Great American Bash instead?
Yeah.
Or Bash of the Beach?
Yeah. Either one. Doesn't matter.
Bash of the Beach would be good because it's like the year after. So it almost like a full year goes by. They do a full year. But I think you do it and then you have eventually, like the way they did WWE was like too soon. But a year in would have been perfect. You do a full year, have Sting, like have Hall and Nash attack Hogan, him and Sting, Hogan and Sting get together, they go after Hall and Nash, all the bullshit.
Like Sting being gone after Fall Brawl, right up until Starrcade 97, that's too long. Because you accomplished the same thing without doing what they did, which was make everything that wasn't Sting Hogan feel unimportant. It's like nothing matters more than Sting and Hogan. So why do I give a shit about Hogan versus DDP on a Nitro or Hogan versus Piper or Savage or whomever they put them against?
But I'll tell you before we go into the rest of the awards, the first when Hogan turned, I remember the first Saturday. Because remember, we got Nitro on Saturday back then on ATV. And I was with lady friends, and I'd say the evening at her home. And I was only 16. I don't know how the fuck I pulled that one off. I did. And it was the next day at 1 p.m. No, 2 p.m. it was on. And it didn't matter. Stop everything. We're watching Nitro. Because kids, if you don't know, back then, you didn't have the internet to go rewatch it. You had to watch it when it happened or tape it. And man, I remember watching that and then them saying Hogan wasn't going to be there. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously? Like, because he didn't come back till the next week. But it was great. But anyway, that's the faction thing. So yeah. So you're saying Dangerous Alliance. I'm still going to go I'll go with the Heart Foundation, 97. Yeah. All right, we're going to hop back into the awards. Was that the last one? I was. So mine, we're going to go to most popular for you, most underrated for me. And this is where I think we fucked up because I remember you telling me who this was once I didn't figure it out.
Most underrated?
Yeah.
Is it El Generico?
Cavill.
Oh, right. That's low key.
Yeah, low key. So that's most underrated. Where am I at? Sorry, I'm going to get back into my list here. There we go. Christian's second. Evan Bourne's third. Yoshitatsu is fourth. Jack Swagger, Desmond Wolf, Samoa Joe, Tyson Kidd, Daniel Bryan, and everyone's favorite Dolph Ziggler. And I'll tell you, I know you were pumped when he came out the Rumble there Saturday, weren't you, Andrew?
Hey, you know how it is. when you do Royal Rumble pools, you only care about your numbers, and not getting Dolph is a great thing. And I know that some people did better than others.
Who's that? Who did better than others? Let's tell the audience.
Future Hall of Famer Scotty B gets the win with Mr. Brock Lesnar, number 30.
Oh, baby boy. That was a nice set of cash in my bank account, which I did spend a little bit today on dirty McDonald's. No offense, McDonald's. If you want to be a sponsor, we'll welcome you with open arms. You're fine. I love McDonald's. The Big Mac, that lettuce, that secret sauce is fantastic. Remember, kids, Big Mac only at McDonald's. See that little advertisement? Okay. Well, it's most underrated. Your most popular is John motherfucking Cena.
Actually, Mr. Randy Orton.
Oh, God, help me, Jesus.
Randy Orton is the most popular wrestler of the year with 30% of the vote.
30% of fucking idiots voting for that bum. I mean, go ahead.
First runner-up is John Cena with 26%. Second runner-up is Rob Van Dam with 13%. Third runner-up is Daniel Bryan with 5%. And honorable mentions totaling 26% include Kurt Angle, Evan Bourne, Edge, Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, Rey Mysterio Jr., and The Undertaker.
Why was I voting, you fuckers? No one's voting for me. All right. That's the end of that one. Moving along, children. What's the next one? Sorry, give me a second here. Format. There we are. Comeback Wrestler of the Year. And for me, it's Most Outstanding Wrestler of the Year. So Comeback Wrestler of the Year for you would be 2010. Bret Hart? I don't know.
It's Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
Comeback of the Year with 26% of the vote. First runner-up is Kane with 15%.
Oh, God.
Second runner-up is Edge with 11%. Third runner-up is Jeff Hardy with 9%. And honorable mentions totaling 39% include Mr. Anderson, Angelina Love, Melina, Tara, and The Undertaker.
All right. Who cares?
And you wonder why 2010 was not a year that I want to go back and revisit. I don't want to watch Survivor Series 2010, for example.
Well, hopefully you get that 80 magazine in the mail. I got mailed it like 2 weeks ago. Hope that comes soon. We can do 80. That's going to be fun. All right. Most outstanding wrestler for me.
Is it Tanahashi?
Bryan Danielson, baby. Well, Daniel Bryan back then, but Bryan Danielson wins it. Second is Davey Richards. Third, Prince Devitt. Four, I cannot pronounce. Miro Fuji. Takeda, Chris Hero, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and then Ron Mysterio. All righty. Let's go on to the next one. Woman of the Year. So Woman of the Year for you will be, oh my God, Stephanie, maybe?
It was Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
She wins it with 22% of the vote. And first runner-up is Angelina Love with 17%. Second runner-up is Madison Rain with 10%. Third runner-up is Madison Eagles with 6%. And honorable mentions totaling 45% include Dixie Carter, Sarah Del Rey, Mickey James, Kelly Kelly, Layla L, Mercedes Martinez, Melina, Mischief, Natalia, and Tara. And Tara is also known in the WWE as Victoria.
Okay. Best non-wrestler for me. That's the one for my category.
Was it Vince?
It was not Vince. It was Vicky Guerrero.
Oh.
Yeah. Who, you know what? I don't like the fact that Vicky's in AEW basically doing the exact same gimmick. That's really stupid. But whatever. Jim Cornette second. Ruggiero Rodriguez is third.
Jim Cornette. It's 2010.
Well, you know what? You want to know the votes for it was? Vicky wins it with 1,935. Jim Cornette is second, 1,072. They're just picking them. Number 4, Michael Cole. Number 5, Mike Briscoe. Number 6, Ric Flair. 7, Bischoff. 8, Paul Bearer. 10, Teddy Long, Hogan, Dana White, and Vinnie Mac. All righty. So next on the list is going to be our match of the year. And pick mine. And by the way, this is where we fucked up at this part. This is where when we originally recorded, this is where it all messed up.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Was it also, or sorry, was it?
Give it away, you watched?
Yeah. Is it Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, it is. So I'm guessing that's yours too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, silly bastard. Yeah, Tyler Black, Dave Richards was second. Brian Danielson and I cannot pronounce his name. I feel so. Tagita, B times B Hulk versus Takeda. Chris Hero versus Tozawa. Prince Devitt versus Mirofuji. Keijo Kanemoto versus Fujiya Hayato. Chris Hero and his partner, who I can't pronounce, versus Sheldon Benjamin and Charlie Haas. Chris Sabin and Alex Sully versus Bobby Roode and James Storm. Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. That's surprising. And what's your runner-ups of the same match of the year?
First runner-up, well, by the way, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels wins it with 29% of the vote. The first runner-up is...
here's my picture of it, by the way.
There we are.
Okay, go ahead.
First runner-up was Beer Money Inc. versus the Motor City Machine Guns with 13% of the vote. Second runner-up was Kurt Angle versus Mr. Anderson with 9%. Third runner-up was Tyler Black versus Davey Richards with 7%. And honorable mentions totaling 42% include Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles on January 4, Royal Rumble January 31st, John Cena versus Batista from March 28, the Briscoe Brothers versus Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli on April 3rd, AJ Styles versus Rob Van Dam on April 19, Bryan Danielson versus Shingo on July 24, and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler on October 24.
All right, so it's all the same match, so it doesn't matter. They both get it. And I'll tell you something. That Phoenix match, no, it doesn't come close to their Houston match the year before. The match the year before was much better than that one. But whatever, it was okay. All right, so second to last is the Stanley Wesson Award for you. Best wrestling show for me. So Stanley Wesson Award. Oh, it's so fucking random, dude. Jack Briscoe.
It's actually Killer Kowalski.
Why? Did he die?
He actually died in... When did he die?
He died later? Is he dead?
No, he died earlier, but it wasn't...
So
he died in 2008.
So 2 years later, they just randomly give him the Stanley Weston Award?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. All right. Best wrestling show. Pick it.
Best wrestling show. Is it New Japan Pro Wrestling?
It is technically UFC 116.
Oh,
that comes first. So best wrestling show, actual wrestling show, was Ring of Honor, Death by Dishonor. So it's right there. Death Before Dishonor. Because UFC is not pro wrestling. It's mixed martial arts. So that's
it's the winner according to Wrestling Observer Newsletter.
So the rest of them... sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mania from March 28th, PWG from July 30th, New Japan from October 11th, Dragon Gate from July 24th, WEC 48, Strikeforce, New Japan from January 4th, WWE Money in the Bank, July 18th in Kansas City. That's that. So, yeah. All right. Last but not least, Wrestler of the Year. Andrew?
I'm going to guess... Davey Richards.
John Cena. He wins Wrestler of the Year. Runner-ups are going to be Takeshi Sariga, I pronounce it. Masasato Yoshihano, Prince David, Chris Jericho, Davey Richards, Sasuke Nakamura, The Miz, Kurt Angle, Mystico. So The Miz gets some fucking votes. Oh, God. So I'm going to pick Randy Orton for yours.
It is indeed. Randy Orton.
Always think. See, kids, that's why you go stay in school, kids. You remember shit like that.
20% of the vote. Randy Orton, the cover boy.
Fuck him. Oh, I hate Orton. Boring.
27. First runner-up is Rob Van Dam with 17%. Second runner-up is John Cena with 14%. Third runner-up is Sheamus with 12%. And honorable mentions totaling 37% include Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, Chris Jericho, Kane, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Miz, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Suwama, and Dr. Wagner Jr.
I'm going with Cena on that one, brother. And that is...
So do you prefer Cena to Orton?
Oh, fuck yeah. I prefer anyone to Orton. I can't
Jerry Lawler or Randy Orton?
I'll go with Lawler, but I don't like him. Sorry, Memphis fans. I know somebody listens to this podcast, but I'm a fan of Lawler.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try to get you to choose Orton over somebody.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Look at that.
Ryan Knobs.
Yeah, take Knobs over Orton.
Okay. Stevie Ray.
Over Orton.
What?
Hey,
okay.
Harlem Heat had some good matches, brother. He was involved in it.
Okay, fair enough. Uncle Elmer.
Fucker. All right, let's go to the next set of awards.
Randy. Okay, so what are some other awards we've got here?
Pardon me?
What are some other awards that we have?
Well, I have like all mine, but what do you have on your end?
All I have are some unofficial, official awards, basically some jokes. So I'll say a few of these. Mm-hmm. 5-star hog splash. Vicky Guerrero's top rope dive at WrestleMania 26. That was by Victoria Ramirez from St. Paul, Minnesota.
That's good. Thanks, Victoria. You fat shame people. That's nice. You fat bitch. Absolutely. You're probably one of them.
Gone but forgotten. Batista. That was Ren Foley from Detroit, Michigan. He could have sprung for a visit to a speech therapist when Jack was young. Jack Swagger's father, Jimmy Golden, also known as Bunkhouse Buck. That was Larry Ackerjay from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And one more. Loves to drink his own bathwater, The Miz. And that was future professional wrestling star Daniel Garcia with the email address drgtna1982@yahoo.com.
All righty. Good times. Let's jump into my awards here. Biggest box office draw.
Cena.
Brock Lesnar, UFC. Best interviews.
Is it Brock?
Chael Sonnen. It's not a fucking wrestler, god damn it. The Miz was the first wrestler in there. Most charismatic.
Is it Brock?
John Cena. Best technical wrestler. You gonna pick Brock again?
Is it Bryan Danielson / Daniel Bryan?
Yes, it is. Bruiser Brody Award.
$2010. It's tough. Is it Kevin Steen?
Yep. Best flying wrestler.
Evan Bourne?
Ibushi. Promotion of the year.
It's New Japan. Oh, no, wait. Ring of Honor.
What's that?
Ring of Honor?
No, UFC. So the rest promotion is Dragon Gate, New Japan, then Ring of Honor. Let's see here. Best weekly television show.
New Japan?
Ring of Honor.
Ah!
Worked match. I did ours today. But that doesn't matter. Best television announcer.
Is Jim Ross still a thing?
No, it's Joe Rogan, so it's not a wrestling one. Pathetic. Worst television announcer.
I'm trying to remember who the hell was doing commentary. Was Coachman still there? But if not, I'm going to say Lawler.
Michael Cole. We already did that one. Worst major show.
I don't know. A TNA one. Say No Surrender.
TNA Hardcore Justice.
Okay.
Best Wrestler Maneuver.
I have no idea what would have won it in 2010, so I'm just going to say Go to Sleep.
Ricochet Double Rotation Moonsault. Worst television show.
Is it Monday Night Raw? Oh,
TNA. You know, Nexus was second, eh?
Huh.
Worst match.
Is it Brett and Vince?
No, it was second. It's Caitlyn and Maxine.
You remember that, though, yeah?
No, I do not. Do you?
No.
Exactly. Worst feud.
Kane Taker?
Edge and Kane. Kane Taker was second. Worst promotion.
TNA?
Yeah. Best booker.
Gabe Sapolsky?
No, it was fucking Joe Silva. So that's UFC. That doesn't even count. Jado and Gato was the ones for wrestling. Promoter of the year.
Is it Dana White?
Yeah. Bullshit. Best gimmick.
2010 best gimmick. I guess whatever Brock's gimmick would be.
Alberto Del Rio. That's our Brock's gimmick. Worst gimmick.
Kane.
Orlando Jordan. Best wrestling book.
2010. Did Jericho write a book?
You ask that every time. I'm not sure.
Jericho.
No. Mick Foley. Countdown to Lockdown. Jeez, Mick knew something 10 years ago that we didn't know about. The fuck, Mick has seen in the future there, buddy, or what? Like, Jesus Christ. And last but not least, best pro wrestling DVD.
Oh, Christ, 2010. Was it Factions?
Chris Jericho Breaking the Code. 2 is Ricky Steamboat. 3, the Hart Family Anthology. 5, Shawn Michaels' My Journey. And then 6, The Best of Raw, 1993 to 1994. And that, everyone, is, if you're still awake, the 2010 awards. Fuck the 2010s. Bad. It was not good. But you know what? We got to put it out because there is someone out there who likes it. So, hey, all the power to you. That's not something we're really interested in. But again, we're professionals. We're podcasters. Andy quit his job. So he told his boss to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
He said, I'm a podcaster now. He said, how many subscriptions do you have? 12.
Yeah.
12. I get about 15 views a video. You know, so Andrew's been living outside with the guy who lives behind his apartment building. Andrew, tell him what's the guy who lives in front of behind your building.
Well, there's a gentleman who has
crazy with the word gentleman here.
Who has resided in my alleyways, and I've lived in my apartment since March of 2007. He has been constant. He lives, like, if I'm looking down right now and there was no, like, it would just be right here. That's where he's at outside. And when I lived here, when I first moved here, I noticed him, of course, because I spent more time on my balcony than when I would later. Even now, because I don't smoke anymore, so I don't really go out there. But he will yell some things that.
What things does he yell? What things does he yell, Andrew? Let's
just say it's not very PC. A lot of different phobias you could say this man has. I have a theory that he does it as a defense mechanism to scare off anybody that could be walking down the alleyways, and he just would be scared. So he'll create an argument that he's having with somebody just to deter other people. But that guy has been there since 2000. Like, who knows how long he's been there? He's been here as long as I have.
let's give this guy credit. People talk about, my life's so hard. That fucking guy lives in a goddamn alley for what, 15, 16 years?
Cardboard box. I mean, I'll every once in a while I'll bring him something, but man, he.
So you've talked to him. You've had conversations with this man.
Yeah, I gave him some shoes. I gave him a pair of shoes. Like I remember, I went down to do it, and he wasn't around, so I just put them in his spot. I came upstairs, came into my building, looked out, saw this guy drive by in a bike, take them, and I was
fucker.
That. So I felt like I have to go give him another pair of shoes.
Yeah.
So I went down. I waited until he was there, and I gave him my Ewings. If you remember my purple Patrick Ewing's shoes that I had.
Maybe.
They were very loud. They were just basketball shoes. And they were all purple. But I just worn them in all sorts of different weather. They weren't anything I was going back to. Yeah. Now I know better. Now I wear boots in the wet time and sneakers and stuff when it's dry, so I don't damage them. But anyhow, I gave him my Ewings, and he said, "Bit heavy, aren't they?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess."
Bit fucking picky, aren't you, asshole? Like,
I know,
fucking.
But you try to do something nice to somebody. I mean, let that be a lesson to you children out there. Don't bother. It's not worth it.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. You ever remember the time we were my first apartment that I had when I moved into St. Joe? Well, moved to my parents' house. Remember me and this girl were hanging out that MA. You've hung out with her a few times before. And we're just getting to my apartment, and she's like, there's a homeless guy outside asking for food. Or asking for like, I'm going to grab a couple bananas and go give it to him. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. She walks down. You sit there, like, fuck you, bitch. I want money, not food. It's like, well, at least you're honest. I mean, but you don't have to tell the girl to fuck off. Like, come on, dude. Like, just don't take the bananas, or maybe sell them to another homeless guy who likes bananas.
Why not take them? I mean, it's fruit. That's energy. I mean, that's a good thing to have. But what do I know?
They don't care. I used to have to walk. I lived on King Street East, and I used to walk through the park to go to the city market to get my food. And they would hang out there. That's where they all hang out. And they'd be in there fighting and fucking screaming at each other, yelling. They say, "Hey there, pal, you got any smokes there, buddy?" It's like, fuck off. And regardless, I don't mind them. I'll tell you a funny story about it, and then we'll end up on the day. I ever tell you a story about the homeless man that you remember the guy who used to mumble? That doesn't really fucking matter, help anybody. But little short guy used to sleep at the bus stop on the Royal Bank. Anyway, I was coming home from a party one night, ran into him walking on the street, and I had a cigarette. I didn't have a light. I said, "He gave me a light." He's like, "Yeah, sure." Well, when you're drunk, you're just like buddy. So I'm living with one of my lady friends at the time, CC. We're going to pronounce it like that. You know who that is. She's a good, big airport pickup people. She's an airport pickup kind of.
Oh, yeah.
So I walked down to the apartment with this homeless dude. I tried to bring him into the house, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Just bring him to have drinks." Like, he's homeless. He can shit anywhere. So they don't care. I'm like, but enough of that. All right, so don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends, tell your dog. Give your dog a YouTube page. Let your dog do it. Make sure you follow Shoot the Shiznit, get the Patreon, $5 a month. Definitely worth it. Just again, I'm a big history guy, man, for the cassette stuff. I'm actually going to subscribe tonight. I totally forgot about it. I'm going to subscribe tonight because I want to listen to the cassette interviews. It's got one with Owen on there. Well, who else did he say? Austin's in there.
Eddie
I know
Gilbert.
Owen's. Eddie Gilbert's everywhere back then.
Yeah.
I think Heyman's on there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Check it out. $5 a month, man. Like really, $5 a month. Check it out. Check out Wrestle and Jeopardy. Check out Newsstand versus it's all in the description. All the links are in the description.
Yeah, and also if you have any PWI or other wrestling magazines that have award issues, it doesn't necessarily have to be PWI, because I know that Wrestling Eye, Wrestling's Main Event, and WCW Magazine, WF Magazine, any magazine that has awards, just message us on the YouTube.
Oh, Twitter. Twitter, by the way. We got Twitter.
Oh, yeah, we have a Twitter.
Yeah. It's PWI versus WON. That's our handle. That's the handle, right? It was WON versus PWI. I think it's...
Oh, come on now.
No, it's PWI versus WN. So go ahead and go on Twitter. We're always up there. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But message us on Twitter if you have that stuff. Send us a message on Twitter. We'll work something out. And so that's that for now. So that was 2010. We thank everybody for watching Newsstand versus Newsletter, and we will see you again next time.
Beautiful plaque.
Okay, the first one is Billy Jack. Billy Jack was voted by all you fans all over the world as the most improved wrestler of the year, and I'd like to give him the plaque right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the man who received over 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes as the most popular wrestler of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the plaque, and now here's the man who won it by your choice, the former World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.